Hey, where's Larry?
Yeah, he told me you'd do the intro today. The shed, they're doing something with this bike here. I don't remember what. Hey, what's going on? Whoops, gotta go. Take your beer bottle too. Hey, welcome back to the Mullet world. Today on the shed, they're gonna try to answer the question, can a single actually equal a home run? When they take one of their mullets and convert it into single speed, this bike right here. But if you want to see which bike it is, you're gonna have to watch the rest of the video. And then after they do the conversion, they're gonna go to a local track and they're gonna do some timed runs through the woods and see if they actually lose any performance or if it stays equal or maybe even better. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But you need to watch the episode to find out. That and more on this episode of The Shed. You're probably wondering what bike exactly we're going to change over to single speed. Now I know I said I was going to do the Lotus, but that's not typically what a single speed bike is, right? Single speed bikes, hardtail, lightweight, and all that. And I really didn't want to do my Polygon, but then something kind of worked out in my favor. Thing is, Lizzie went out of town and made the mistake of leaving her bike in my storage facility. So guess what? This is the bike we're going to change over to single speed. So you may remember this bike from some of the videos. It's a Wisco Storm. It's a 26-27.5 Mullet. Got some fairly aggressive tires on it. But we got a bunch of parts. We're going to make it into a single speed. Now I'm pretty sure Lizzie doesn't watch the videos, so we'll have it converted, do our tests, and before she even knows anything happened. Now the bike's a little bit small for me to ride. So my friends Aaron and Steve are going to do some timed runs riding it. They're going to have the GoPro with them, describe what's going on, and talk about the differences. And then after that, I'm going to do a timed run on my 11-speed Polygon. Very unscientific, but just kind of as a comparison. I think it'll be fun. It'd be cool to have the separate runs and all, and that's going to be at the end of this video. You'll see those runs. And before I show you the parts that we're going to do the conversion with, there's a little bit of math we need to look at. So let's go to the whiteboard. All right, so single speed gearing is a little bit controversial. There's more to it than just the chain wheel and the sprocket. There's also what they call gear inches, and that takes into account the diameter of the rear wheel. So I contacted Chicken Sendi's and Keogh's MTB Adventures because I know both of them normally run single speed stuff. They do it a lot. And both of them run a 32-17. So it's 32 chain wheel, 17 sprocket in the back. Okay, and they both have 29-inch wheels. All right, so I got this formula from Dirtwire TV. And you take the chain wheel, divide it by the rear sprocket. That gives you this number. And then you multiply it times the wheel size. And so what Charlie Keogh and Chicken Sendi's are running, they're both 54.52 gear inches. So let's say you lined your wheel up on the ground with your valve stem and you went one rotation of the crank. That tire would travel 54.52 inches with that gear ratio. All right. So, being that I have a 26-inch rear wheel that I'm working with, I have to use that as part of the formula. Now, Dirtwire TV, he was running a 51-inch gear inch. So I'm gonna shoot for somewhere in the middle of these two guys. Now, I had originally bought a 30x17, but that only gives me 45.76. Now, 45.76 would be real easy to pedal, but you're going to be really limited on top speed. I could go all the way down to 36-17, but that's 55-12, so that's way harder than what everybody else is normally running. So at least this gives me some room to experiment with different chain wheels. All right, so let's go check out the parts I bought to do this conversion. Let's start out with this basic single speed parts. So we have here, this fits a regular HG style hub. That's my 17 sprocket. These are spacers so that you can get the sprocket in the right location to get your chain center line right. And this is a idler tensioner with a little spring in there so it puts tension on the chain, because it has straight dropouts. There's no adjustment. This is the 30-tooth chain wheel I bought, and I'm not sure we're going to use that. And this is they're calling this a single-speed chain. I've heard 9-speed is kind of the standard of what people use, but we'll see. So this whole kit here, I think, was $20. I mean, it wasn't much money. I think it was around $20, and then I paid maybe $8 for the chain wheel. I'd have to look back and see, but there's less than $30 invested here. Now, this is not necessarily needed, but so the tires on the bike are fairly aggressive. It's a DHR on the back, and it's a WTB Vigilante on the front. It's fairly aggressive. These Victoria Barzos are way less rolling resistance. 26 2.25 and 27.5 2.25. Way less rolling resistance. They got a real good flexible sidewall, so they have good traction. And I'm going to put a different rear wheel on there for her, just so I could leave her 10-speed setup alone. Just, you know, switch everything over. And now, before we do any work to the bike, I want to weigh it because I think we're going to lose a little bit of weight. So 28.62. The strap is 0.11, so that's 5.1. So 28.51. Right, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time showing you me mounting tires and all that. I will show you me finding a chain center line with the rear hub. But as far as mounting tires and all that stuff, I'm just going to do that. And then we'll come back and we'll figure out the chain center line together. All right, so I don't know what the official way of lining your sprocket up with your chain wheel is, because I never did this before, but I'm going to do it with a string. So if you look on my chain wheel here, you can see the string's clamped here, and you can see the gap, right? Well, when you pull that string and make it touch the other part of the chain wheel, that's a straight line. And if you come to the back here, if we make that sprocket line up, that gives us about 8 millimeters of space we need. Okay. So we're going to set up the spacers so that I have 8 millimeters there, and that should give me a pretty much straight chain. All right, I got it on there. Had 8 millimeter space. The only thing I don't like about this thing got so much play. But I mean, it's a $20 single speed kit. And that came with the chain, the idler, and the sprocket, and the spacers. So I guess I can't complain. We'll see how it goes though. All right, so we got this little idler here. And this basically bolts onto your derailleur hanger with the little spring tab on top. Thing we almost forgot to do was to weigh it. So we're going to weigh it. It weighed 28.5 before we did anything. And now it's 25.6, so we took about 3 pounds off. That's pretty good. All right, I guess the next step is to try it on the trail, and we'll find out how all this mess works. All right, here we are at Mercer Park to do our test runs on this new single speed. I got Aaron here, and I got Steve here. They're gonna do the riding because the bike's a little small for me. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a timed run. All right, usually between these trails, it's about a 4.5 minute run. So we're gonna time the run. I'll be on the exit of it. We're going to time it, we'll show them coming out, we'll talk to them, see how they felt about riding a single speed compared to their regular multi-speed bikes. And then after those two run and get a time, I'm going to do kind of a comparison time with my hardtail 11 speed. And just to get an idea, a very unscientific idea of how they kind of compare. So let's get started.
We're ready.
Everybody's ready? And who's going to
Go!
Ready to go. it's going pretty good out on the single speed. And I used to doing some shifting, but once you get your momentum going, you're doing pretty good. Actually at the start there, just had to get used to the bike a little bit again. Get used to the bike. But if you keep your momentum, up, yeah, whoa, a little bit there. When the corners, I could probably use the shifting. But if you keep your momentum going up the hill, I can feel the lightness of the bike. Yeah, this is probably where I would want to, if I had my bike with gears, I would go into a lower gear. It's really a couple spots where you can kind of coast, but you want to keep your, I guess you say, your cadence going. Coast a little bit there. Whew.
Alright, so how was that run?
Wasn't bad.
You want to see what it is? Don't say it, we're going to put it on the screen.
Okay.
Is that crazy? Now we're going.
That's
no,
good.
We're going to say it. 3:58.
Wow, it's good.
Last time was 4.5 minutes we timed it, so that's flying. That
Yeah,
was
but
a
a
good run.
couple spots where I just kind of lost it a little bit. Didn't have a real good rhythm, but you got to continue, keep your momentum, and actually, if you keep pedaling, even with going downhill, keep your cadence a little bit, keeps you going.
Yeah. So how'd you like it compared to multi-speed? This trail in particular.
Well, this bike is good for this, real good, because it's light, which I didn't mention too much about it. I had, the handlebars a little shorter than mine, and they don't have the suspension for sure. But the cornering stuff's great. So the bike's real good for this trail.
All right, great.
I would say it's great. Great single speed. It's good. Real good.
All right, awesome.
I wish I was in better shape.
All right, now we're going to get on to Steve riding.
Okay.
Go!
Definitely got to be a little bit more aware of where you're riding. Normally I'm looking only, I don't know, 5-10 feet in front of the wheel. Now I have to keep a good like 50-60 feet ahead so that I can plan on how much to pedal. But I will say it's really nice not having to think about shifting, not having to remember, am I in the higher end or the lower end? You just go and try not to fall. And just be a little bit more daring with the brakes, or without them, I should say, really. But overall, super responsive, no lag, no drag, really nice. Really got to keep that speed up, especially on the uphill. And I'm definitely finding myself just giving it everything on every little straightaway, whereas normally I'd coast a little more. I'm just pushing as soon as I get the opportunity.
This is time.
Did I beat Aaron?
Aaron was 3:58. You bet.
Yes.
Beat Aaron by a 10.
I am the king.
How was it?
Oh man, it was different.
Yeah.
Your mindset is different.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I hear.
I found myself freewheeling a lot less.
Yeah.
Even on places I would normally coast, as soon as you're away from a problem area, past a turn, you just go.
You just keep it going.
Because you can always hit the brakes, but you can't always speed up. So it definitely takes a little bit of a readjustment about where you're looking and how you're riding.
Yeah. But you were fast though, man. That's fast.
The bike gets going. It's so smooth. It's like instant speed when you start moving. There's no drag, no lag. And I love turning my brain off. Not worried about shifting. Am I up? Am I down? Is that a hill? You just go.
You go.
And that's super nice.
Awesome.
But
man.
this was the perfect trail for this kind of bike though.
So overall, did you like it? You enjoy riding it?
Absolutely. On trails like these.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going Clayton with it.
Right. But on like a semi-flat with some mixed terrain, all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great, man. All right. So now I guess it's my turn. I got to get my helmet on, go over to the other side, and see what I could do with my bike. Now I'm shifting already, so I don't know how them guys are doing it. I have a feeling they're gonna make me look silly though. 'Cause I don't think I could do this in 4 minutes. Trying to be smooth rather than just fast. The plan was to be talking. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm nowhere near 4 minutes. I'm over 4. Yeah, I know I'm way over 4.
How do you feel?
Let me recover from my heart attack, and I'll tell you. What time was it?
4:02.
Oh, that ain't terrible.
You were close, man.
That is not terrible. It was still faster. But it's kind of on par because you guys usually are just a tick faster than me. You know?
Yeah.
So it's really not much difference. Except I really pushed hard that time. All right. Well, that worked out good. Let me get off the bike and we'll do a little concluding comments. All right, so we all were pretty close, kind of the way when we normally ride. Aaron was 358, Steve was 357, and I did 402. So that's kind of when we're normally riding. We're kind of in that same ballpark. But they both liked the bike a lot. The bike's super light. It was 25 pounds. And it was pretty cheap to do. So I think it was a worthwhile project. But there was a lot of moving parts making this video. So I want to thank everybody who helped me, including Aaron and Steve and Tom on the second camera. And Tracy on our main camera, behind the camera. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you next time on the shed.